everybody. Happy Purrr's Day. It is so great to be back with you guys tonight. I am live on Instagram. For all of you Instagram people, thank you so much for popping in. We're going to give you guys a few minutes to hop on. Tonight, it's live Q&A. I am a holistic health practitioner, mind, body, spirit release professional provider. And I'm also an expert in cat stuff, especially holistic modalities, and helping you empower yourself to learn how to do better, know better for your cats. So I am here tonight to just kind of answer your questions. So if you have any specific things going on, you have questions about, if you have a specific issue that you're trying to deal with your cat and you want some suggestions, I am happy to throw some out there for you or provide some resources that might help you find some answers or direction. So first of all, before we actually get started, I just want to know where everybody is watching from tonight. So if you guys are on Facebook or YouTube, and I'm looking up the camera for Instagram. So they're like offset a little bit. So anyway, I wanted to say hi to everybody as you guys pop on. So let me know who's here and where you guys are joining us from tonight. I cannot believe it's Thursday, September the 7th. It's like, where did the summer go? So I guess we're officially in fall now. And I wanted to just also throw this out for you guys. Does anybody out there have a cat that struggles with seasonal allergies or similar kinds of symptoms, kind of like people? Because I'm going to give you some tips on what's causing those issues right now. So let's say hi to some people. So Caravan Rose is here from Memphis, Tennessee. That's awesome. And Lisa is it Lisa Washington? No, you're from Washington. Gotcha. And then Sandy Cat, she says, all of a sudden my 18-year-old is getting matted fur. I feel like I'm hurting her when I try to brush them out. She does not like it. Oh no. Yeah, when they're that old, they have a harder time, and I would almost say less of an interest in grooming themselves. So that can be why. And they don't take care of themselves as much when they're older, and you might see their fur not look as pretty. So we can help them out with getting those little grooming wipes and just kind of wipe them down. And then, you know what, Sandy, there are so many different kinds of brushes out there. I have a couple different kinds myself. One is the really fine wire bristle brush. And then the other one I have is by Kong, and it's purple, and it's got soft rubber points on it that are big. My cats like well, let me clarify. Gunner likes both of them. Aylin doesn't like brushed at all. And the kittens don't really understand why I'm trying to brush them. So, in fact, Breeze, come here. I've got kittens in the office with me tonight. They're kind of playing. Well, they were playing. Maybe she'll come up here. Breezy, come here. Come say hi. Their birthday is not birthday. Their 5-month-old birthday is this week. So that's kind of fun. I cannot believe they're 5 months old. And Renee is here from Western Massachusetts, and Jen is here. Jen and Bubs, hi from Middletown, PA. And then I know Valerie is here on Instagram. So hi to all of you guys. How are your cats doing? What's been going on in y'all's cat world? Anything new? Anything popping up on your radar that you're like, oh my gosh, what do I do about this? I was going to share with you what I'm finding right now that's affecting cats with immune issues is allergies. And again, if you missed last month's live Q&A, I gave you a source for finding out what is blooming, what is on the allergy radar in your area, and pollen.com can be your new best friend. But what you're starting to see creep up again is ragweed, nettle, elm tree, and just today, Brassica rapa. Brassica plants are in the cabbage, broccoli family, Brussels sprouts, all the brassica plants. And guess what's harvesting in the fall? All of those plants, right? So it's not uncommon to have the brassica plants be producing those allergens and pollens and such like that. So that could be why your cat might be sneezing or having, allergy symptoms of some kind, maybe runny nose. Maybe you see them sniffling a little bit, or, a little bit of lymph coming out or mucus out of their nose, like a runny nose. So that can be why. One of the things that you guys can try using in those instances is a homeopathic remedy called Arsenicum album 30C. It's great for sneezing and like mild runny nose. You may have some cats that have more of a sinus congestion sound with their sneezing. And if that's the case, the remedy that I check first is Natrum muraticum 30C. And if that one is not working, then try Sabadilla 30C. And those tend to be really good options for you. Okay, so got a couple questions over here. So Lisa says, we've been dealing with FHS for about 3 years now. He's on meds, but he keeps getting to his tail and rips the hair out. I'm exhausted. I don't know how to help him. He's 5. Lisa, I would love to set up a discovery call with you. If you guys don't know, I'm in the process of developing a private membership, a private program that's geared directly to supporting and helping the FHS cat parents to one, I want to understand their journey, what they're dealing with, what their cat's doing, what their struggles are, and that sort of thing, but also the kinds of support that would be ideal in a perfect world for cat parents whose cats have exactly those kinds of symptoms, and you just don't know what to do. You are pulling your hair out just like they're pulling their hair out. I can teach people how to find the stressors in the body and then what to do about it, whether that's on a micro level or a macro level, whether that's emotional or physical or whatever it might be. But in order to develop the program that best suits you, I need to know what you want. So that's why I'm trying to book as many calls as I can to do the research first, because I don't want to create something that's not needed. So Lisa, if you go to if you send me an email, I can send you a link to my calendar to book a discovery call. It's Pam@purrrfectlyholistic.com. Make sure you put 3 R's in that. So yes, there are answers out there. And what happens is they have so much histamine running through their body that it's like giving them little zingers and hitting the nerves underneath the skin. So it's very irritating. And that is why they are pulling that fur out, because they're trying to stop the discomfort, the histamine, the nerve irritation from all the sluggishness in the lymphatics. That is what I have found to be, in most cases, those causing those kinds of symptoms. So, yes, let's see. And I also would suggest, Lisa, that you go back through your vaccine records and all of your vet records and look for any kind of topical application, any vaccine, the type of vaccine, did it have heavy metals in it? If you have used flea medications, start to look for potential causes of this type of stress and the immune stress, because there is gold in those records. I'm just telling you, we have to uncover everything. So every type of potential stressor, there are ways to find out what's going on, even when the vet can't help you. So let's see. But Lisa, that's the first step. find the source of the stress, because when you find the why, it will tell you what that can determine the what. Okay. Caravan Rose says, my new rescue kitten has herpes and had an infection, but now is doing better. Can I introduce him to my 2 older cats? Is it only contagious during flare-ups? From my understanding, it can be passed, like, especially when there's a flare-up and it's passed through their saliva. But I will tell you, I had a cat with herpes for years, and other cats in the household never got it. So probably it varies between pet to pet and how much interaction they have. But I really supported his immune system as best I could to prevent those flare-ups. So I would say yes, as long as you are supporting his immune system, species appropriate diet, immune support, maybe colostrum, maybe probiotics. There's also wonderful products like Stimune by NHV Naturals and Super Immune by Animal Essentials. Antioxidant support, so your omega-3s, your mushrooms, things like that are wonderful for supporting the immune system. And then minimize stress as much as you can so that we can minimize and reduce those flare-ups. And then the other thing that you can do for like herpes symptoms, if there's a lot of sneezing and things like that, there's a couple remedies. Natrum muraticum that I mentioned a while ago is great for the respiratory support. If they end up having a lot of eye discharge, you may want to look at Euphrasia 30C. So those are 2 good options just to kind of keep on hand. Let's see. Okay, I'm going through questions. Renee says, I'm looking for homeopathic remedies to manage asthma and general detox ideas from environmental toxins. Okay, for asthma, it really depends on the symptoms. There's a couple that I have used with a couple clients. One is Calcarea carbonica, Calc Carb 30C, and then the other is Bryonia. So it depends on how how the symptoms manifest. What you can do is do a Google search, go to your favorite browser and type in the search homeopathy for asthma. Yes, I don't necessarily put in for cats, but homeopathy for asthma, and you're going to find all of these sites. There's a lot of great sites by Indian doctors who list all the different remedies and all the different symptoms, what we call rubrics, with each of those remedies. And you can kind of narrow down based on your cat's symptoms and match to find a remedy based on what he specifically is manifesting through symptoms, and then the remedy that may work. If you guys know how to muscle test, this makes it very easy. And I do have an online muscle testing course on my website. If you guys want to check that out, it's not expensive at all, and it's on demand. So you guys can teach yourself. I teach you on the workshop how to muscle test, which helps you narrow down your selection process and figuring out how to best support your cat. So Jen says, Pam has helped me and my bubs immensely with a detox plan to get his FHS under control. Yes, he's doing so much better. You're so sweet. I'm so glad he's doing so much better. And then Renee, I have a vaccine detox protocol or program on my website at shop.purrrfectlyholistic.com. It's under services. You can use the same principles and steps. If your cat has had vaccines, I always tell people detox those vaccines. I don't care if they just have one. Detox the vaccines. But if your cat has not had any vaccines, and let's be real, how many people here have never given their cat one vaccine in its whole life? But you can take that same information on the vaccine detox program and just go through the phases. And when you get to the actual vaccine remedies, you may not need those, but the chemical detox is part of that process. The lymphatic support, the liver support is all staged in phases with specific product recommendations that you can use for that whole environmental process. And it also will help with glyphosate, because glyphosate is everywhere in our environment, including pet food sometimes, depending on what you're feeding. So, it's in the air, it's in people spray it on lawns, it drifts over into your yard, even if you don't use it. So we can all be exposed to glyphosate on some level. We are all the time. So I highly recommend that we all detox, right? And what's cool about it is the products that I use in my vaccine detox program for chemicals and heavy metals and liver support. A lot of those brands you can use or let me say this, a lot of the products you can find for people. So it's awesome. Let's see. Lisa says he's been amputated twice. Oh, is that for the tail? Let me go back up here because I think I just missed Lisa. Okay, yeah. Oh my gosh, they've had to amputate part of his tail twice. And had a spinal surgery. Oh my gosh. Wow, that's crazy. I would definitely love to chat with you, Lisa. If you can reach out to me, I'll send you a link to my calendar so we can talk a little bit more in depth. So Caravan Rose says, I've been giving him lysine colostrum. We'll look into others you mentioned and start probiotics. Yeah, here's the thing. If you're using a colostrum, he may not need a probiotic too, because the colostrum is like the mother's milk, right? And they have all the wonderful support for the gut, the microbiome. The probiotics may not be necessary if you're using colostrum too. So I would probably just use the colostrum for a little bit and then take a break and continue, look at trying some other immune, like mushrooms. Mushrooms are awesome. Okay, let's see here. I'm going to wave at a couple of people over here on Instagram. So Rafi Hyder and Lita Powerful Silver. Thanks you guys for joining us. Okay, I'm coming back over here to Facebook. Raquel says, Hi Raquel, how are you? I had to work with a homeopathic vet, but my cat's asthma was cured after a few different remedies. She would change up the dosage based on results. Yes. So there can be multiple, when you're dealing with like a deep chronic issue, then working with a homeopathic vet, if you are so fortunate to have one that you can use or go to online, they're fabulous. And with the chronic deeper stuff, it does tend to require multiple remedies. So it's not just a one-time deal. It may require a little bit of time and different potencies and different remedies and doses and things like that. So that is awesome. Renee, thank you. She's done my muscle testing course. It's fantastic. Highly recommend. Thank you so much. I'm always trying to improve. So if you guys have additional, comments or suggestions for those, that'd be great. I'm always wanting to do better. There was something else I was going to say comment-wise. Where was it? Okay. Oh, Renee, here we go. I missed it. So would arsenicum album be a good remedy for a whistle in the nose and sneezing? That's a good question. Sneezing, yes, but the whistle would probably indicate to me that there's some kind of congestion, some kind of a partial nasal blockage, probably some inflammation in there. So I would probably try Natrum muraticum and see how that works. I mean, you can always try arsenicum first and see how the cat responds. And just in general, the way that I was taught through a couple of homeopathic vets that I've worked with and learned from, they typically say, you know, give three doses and then watch and see what happens. Just watch their symptoms. If you see their body improve, then you know you're on the right track, and you can just continue to dose maybe twice a day until the symptoms stop, and then you definitely stop the dosing. If you don't see any improvement whatsoever after those first 3 doses, it's probably not the right one, and it's probably best to stop and revamp, go back to your Materia Medica, go back to your search online and look up more, do some more research and see what else you can find in terms of another remedy to try. Let's see what else. I'm scrolling down here. I want to make sure I covered all of those questions. Oh, and this is a good time for me to just let you guys know. On September 23rd, had to check my calendar, I am co-hosting a workshop on homeopathy with Jody Teish. And so we just launched the announcement this week, and you can sign up. It does require registration. The cost is $35. It's a Saturday morning at 10:30 Central Time. It'll probably run about an hour and a half. And we are recording it. So if you can't be there live, you will get a recording sent on Monday to anyone who signs up. So it'll be a great opportunity. We're going to go over like the most common conditions that cats struggle with and how to find remedies and specific remedy suggestions that you can try for those specific conditions, and then how to use it and all of those good things. So you can find that at shop.purrrfectly-holistic under workshops. Look at the top of the page on the toolbar. You'll see workshops, and it's under there. So go ahead and sign up for that. Even if you've never used homeopathy, it's a great intro to learn, especially, you know, cats commonly have a lot of the same stuff all the time. So we are taking like the most common conditions. That was my goal. And Jody, who is a homeopathic educator, she is going to be walking us through how to select those remedies, how to find them, how to prepare it, how to administer, and look at the symptoms, the rubrics, and things like that, so you can find exactly what you need. So it's going to be cool. So if you haven't done it already, go ahead and register for that workshop. Okay, let's see what else we have over here. Does anybody have any questions over here on Instagram? Any questions tonight for cat stuff, holistic health stuff for cats? Any conditions you guys are struggling with? Oh, it looks like Ryer Cat is here. This is Riley. Is that you guys? Is that Stephanie and Samantha? This is Riley. Maybe that's not. Maybe that's a different kitty. Okay, let's see here. Hi, guys. I wanted to say just send you guys my deepest condolences for Henry. I know this has been a very tough week on you, and it's not easy when we lose a cat, especially when it's so sudden and unexpected. So my heart goes out to you guys, and I'm just sending you lots of love and support. I hope you feel that energy. I just got goosebumps. So I know it's so hard. It's so hard. But like I said, I have a feeling that he is watching over you guys, and for whatever reason, he had to move, and it's so difficult. Yes, it's horrible. So he must have a very important job on the other side. It's all I got to say, because I know he loved you guys so much, and I was so touched by when you shared that he was touching. What do you call that? That interactive with the words, and they can touch the buttons or something, and it tells you, you know, what, like a message, what they want to talk to you. And he said, I love you, I love you, I love you. I was like, oh my gosh. That's just the most amazing thing. I've seen those interactive I don't know what you call it. They're so cool. The communication buttons. Thank you. I've always wondered, like, is that real? But you know, I don't know. I think I'm a believer based on what you shared. So I was thinking how cool it would be if I got one of those. Um, if you know where to get them, send me a link. That would be so cool to play with. But anyway, sending you guys lots of love, and I know that you are loving on your other two babies a lot this week. So, and I know they're supporting you as well. Um, okay. What else do you guys have questions on? I felt like there was something else that I missed over here, and I'm just going to scroll up real quick and check. Let's see. Sorry, I'm still reading. Raquel, can you share just in general the names of the remedies that your vet has used over that period of time to help clear up for good your cat's asthma? Because that would be very interesting for people to know. And I just want people to know that homeopathy is real. Homeopathy works. When you get the right remedy and you get the right protocols and the right sequence, holy cow, it can be so amazing. So it's really, really cool. Lisa says, "What about cat dandruff? My FHS kitty has it, but not his brother." You know, the cat dandruff typically is deficiency in omega-3, so it could be diet deficiency. Um, it's also indicative that, okay, we have to think of it from the skin, right? So the skin is the largest detox organ in the body. And if the detox pathways are clogged and sluggish, you can have skin issues. So I'm guessing that providing some liver support can also help with that, but typically it's diet related, it's a lack of omega-3s, and when you get those combinations correct, then you will definitely see a change in the skin and the coat. It's fantastic. You don't have to do a whole lot of supplements. In fact, I tell people all the time, you can't out supplement a bad diet. So diet is so foundational to everything that we do with our cats. If we don't have the diet right, if we're feeding them a high processed diet, not that you are, Lisa, because I don't know what you're feeding, but if we're feeding a high processed diet to our cats, then they're not getting the nutrition that they need. So, and they're not getting the moisture that they need. So we have to look at the foundations. And if we get that right, then we can eliminate a lot of these other supplements because their body's needs are getting met. You can add some omega-3s. I love, any kind of a fish oil, krill, salmon oil. You can even give sardines 2 or 3 times a week if they like sardines in water, not oil. But those sardines tend to be pretty big, right? So even if you gave a half a sardine 3 times a week, that can help. That's a food source of omega-3s. So that can also provide some of that support as well. And in the meantime, there's the pet wipes, the cat wipes that you can look at to help kind of clean the skin a little bit. So, but I have a feeling it's probably more related to immune issues and gut health because the immune system is in the gut, right? So we have to remember there's a correlation there. Okay, let me see if anybody over here want to say hello to Potential Digital Marketing. Hi, you guys. Thank you for joining us. Let's see if there is anybody here struggling with any kind of emotional stuff with their cats lately? Any behavior things? Have you been dealing with emotional stress of some kind and then see your pets kind of go wacko and crazy? because it could be a reflection of them trying to get your attention. So there's so much you can do. I also wanted to ask you guys, have you explored using crystals with your cats? I have a I have an 8-year-old kitty, and she is I call her my water element cat because she gets very anxious and very fearful. I don't know where that came from because when she was a kitten, she was fearless, right? She was just like play monster all day long. And something changed when we moved, and she can go outside to a backyard that's enclosed, so she's safe. But there are dogs on two two of the fences that surround us. And so she can't, obviously, they can't get her, but she didn't grow up with dogs. So it's a nuisance, it's a new threat, I guess, is the way she views it. So we've been doing a lot of work with strengthening and supporting her root chakra. Um, and then of course the kittens who go a little cray cray when they're playing, they can just make her feel afraid and just nervous because they are like zipping back and forth and jumping all over the place. And so she gets very scared. So we've been playing with amethyst crystals. What else? Rose quartz crystals. And I got a root chakra packet, not packet, root chakra crystal package from Moon Mojo Feline. If Laura Lee is here, she has a great shop online to help support your cats energetically with different things, including hydrosols and crystals and herbs. So she sent me one for root chakra support for Aylin. And this morning I was sitting in the closet with her because I put all the crystals on the floor, and she hasn't really selected them out herself, but what she loves is we have our little cuddle time every day, and I hold her like a baby, and I take the crystals and she just rubs her face all over. Sometimes she even tries to like bite it. And I was talking to a client the other day, and her cat does the same thing. So I don't know if you guys have ever played with crystals, but brushing your cat with crystals, they absolutely love it. And something about that energy around their mouth and face where all their pheromones are, it is so relaxing. And she just purrs and goes crazy. She's so sweet and so peaceful. So that's what we've been doing. Just, trying to support her a little bit. She's not the easiest cat to support, and she's not the easiest cat to put CBD in or on because she just doesn't want to have anything to do with that, even though I have some. So we're just trying different ways energetically to support her. So, yeah, I wasn't sure if anybody else had played with crystals or not, because I did a really cool show with Allie Phillips, who is the master of crystals with cats. And she shared a lot of really cool tips. So that's on the YouTube channel if you want to check that out. So Jen says, I have a question. I've been feeding Bubs Viva Raw Darwin's small batch. Yay! And I've been wondering if I should add additional omega-3s and fish oil to his and his brother's food, or if the commercial raw has enough vitamins and minerals with no added nutrients needed. Here's the thing. You can never add too many omega-3 oils. And here's why. Even though you're feeding a raw diet, we don't add, or this is what I've learned through Dr. Karen Becker and Ronnie Habib on Inside Scoop. Companies don't add, or it's not recommended that companies put the omega-3s in their recipes that are going to be frozen, because it diminishes their effectiveness, their potency, their benefit from being frozen. So it's best to add them right before you serve the food. So I would suggest, and this is what I do, I add omega-3s to their food when I'm making it after it's thawed and it's warming up in the sink in a warm water bath. So omega-3s are so great for skin, for coat, and just for the essential fatty acids and the alpha lipoic acids that they need as cats. So I highly recommend using those all the time, even if you don't do it every day, maybe 3 times a week, because they have so many benefits. They do provide antioxidant support as well, and which helps reduce inflammation in the body. So I would add it, even though you have these wonderful, great recipes, and I do Darwin's and Viva too. But I add the oils on top of that, because they just don't have the staying power being frozen. So that's why they suggest adding them right before you feed. Lorna says all 3 cats have a grade 1 to 2 heart murmur, ages 6, 7, 14. Oh my goodness. You know what? Here's a really cool tip. And I don't know how many of you guys know this, but let's say if you have a cat with a heart condition of some kind, or, any kind of organ related condition, think of the phrase like feeds like. So if you have a cat with a heart condition of some kind, you can feed freeze-dried heart or like desiccated hearts. I know that standard process uses a lot of glandulars, and which is awesome, because it's like the real heart or pancreas or lung or kidney or liver. They use all of those products in their supplements. So it's like getting a little bit of the real deal. So you can always feed stuff like freeze-dried heart, and you're not going to find them necessarily labeled for a cat. But you can, like Northwest Naturals is a brand, for example, that has a lot of freeze-dried organ meats and treats, and they're like single ingredient treats, right? So I know they have chicken hearts. I think they have other hearts too, but I just have the chicken hearts in my pantry. But they may have beef heart. They may have other animal hearts. So that's a great treat. Number one, it's a freeze-dried product, and you're supporting heart. But there's also like different herbs. I know that hawthorn root is one. And I know that there are brands out there. I think NHV Naturals has a heart support, just like a general herbal product that is great for supporting heart. And I know Animal Essentials does too. And then Pet Wellbeing has one. Is it Heart Support Gold or something to that effect? So yes, there are wonderful things you can do, as well as like CoQ10. Omega 3s would be awesome as well. So look at some of the heart supplements. Just if you, even some in our shop at shop.purrrfectlyholistic.com, if you go into supplements, you can look by organ, heart support. But there's a ton of different heart support supplements that can be used with cats. I would just do a little digging online, and you'll find a lot of stuff to support them. It doesn't necessarily mean that it will reverse their heart murmur conditions, but if you can just keep it stable, right, and support that organ for normal function as you can, then that's what you do. That's how we do it. Lorna, I find it interesting that all 3 cats, and they're all different ages, have a grade 1 to 2 heart murmur. Did your vet suggest anything? Is it genetic? I just find that interesting, because you might have that in one cat in a household, but to have it in all 3, I just find that odd. I don't know. Does anybody else have that experience? Is that common? Is that a common thing these days? I'm wondering if it's genetic, and I'm wondering if something like nutritional deficiency, maybe when they were young, contributes to that. I don't know, but because I'm not a vet, I don't work in the vet world, but I just find that interesting. So Laura Lee is here, the dedicated feline enthusiast. Laura, I was just talking about the crystals, the root chakra package that you sent me. that I'm brushing with Aylin. I'm taking the little crystals and I'm brushing her face. She's never been like a cat to seek out the crystal itself if it's on the floor, but she loves brushing. So that's what I'm doing with them. And so far, so good. So I love that. Lorna says, 2 of the cats are my daughter's cats. Okay. Oh, okay, okay. So they're not all in your family. But still, even 2 in a family, I think that's unusual. I could be wrong. I don't work in the veterinary world, so I don't know how common that is, but years ago I had a cat, and at one of the exams, the vet said, "Oh, I think he's got a heart murmur," and they sent me off to the heart specialist for, an ultrasound or something. This was so long ago, don't remember all the details, but it turns out he didn't have a heart murmur. So it was just a mistake that cost me like $800. So that didn't sit well with me. Um, so I would verify, I would get it verified if you can, just to make sure that they have a heart murmur. Um, she says, I have some treats that have beef heart. Yes, yes. Awesome. Yes, heart feeds heart, kidney feeds kidney, liver feeds liver. So if your cat needs liver support or if the liver is weak, um, liver treats, just single ingredient liver treats. And I just posted a video tonight, actually, about an hour ago. Raised Right has the shaken flakes, which is little tiny pieces of just liver that's been dehydrated, and you can shake it and sprinkle it on top of your cat's food. My cats love those things. So, yeah, it doesn't smell great to me, but they love it. And that's all that matters. Um, yeah, so let's see. Laura Lee says, "Yay, that makes me happy." I know, right? They love being brushed on their mouth and face. Um, it's so cool to see them interact with crystals like that. So, okay, Lorna says, "Thank you for the advice. They are all going to the vet in 2 weeks." Interesting. Okay. Okay. Well, sending them lots of good vibes. I hope that visit goes well. And yeah, 6, 7, and 14. Yeah. I don't know. I just feel like I don't know, just a little, I don't know, little birdie in my head. It's like, I don't know. Let's see. Does anybody else have any other questions? So Laura Lee says Emmett's vet had noticed a slight heart murmur on his first visit with her. She checks it every month and it hasn't changed. She now thinks it's just the way his heart beats. Yeah, that's possible. It's, yeah. So keep that in mind, Lorna, when you go. It may not actually be a murmur unless they have actually done an ultrasound or an EKG or whatever it is that they do to determine that, yes, this is in fact a murmur. So, yeah, but you know what? Heart, freeze-dried heart is still so full of taurine and other great nutrition. So it's a great treat, whether your cats actually have a heart issue or not. It's a great, great treat. So you can look for those. Northwest Naturals is the one I'm currently using, but I'm sure there are other brands that have freeze-dried hearts, um, specifically single ingredient hearts. So Ashley's here. Hey Ashley, how are you and how is May? And have you gone on your vacation yet? Because I can't remember when you were leaving. Okay, does anybody have any other questions? Y'all have lots of good stuff tonight. For those of you who are just joining us or joined us late, I was just telling everyone earlier that Jody Teish and I are doing a homeopathy workshop for cats for the most common conditions and using homeopathy for those common conditions in cats on Saturday, November 23rd. And it will be registration only. It's $35, and you can purchase your registration through Purrrfectly Holistic, shop.purrrfectlyholistic.com under workshops, and you will be sent a recording. So if you can't be there actually live as we go through it with you, you will get the recording on that Monday, the 25th, and you can take it at your own time. So it's going to be awesome. She's a great educator. She's a certified educator for homeopathy. So it's going to be really informative. And we just want to empower you guys as cat parents, even dog parents, if you want to just if you have cats and dogs in your house, just learning about those remedies and how they can support the most common conditions in cats is pretty awesome. Sometimes there's that crossover with dogs too. So, and sometimes there's crossover with humans, right? So whether it's vomiting, diarrhea, whatever, UTIs, we get those things too. So you might learn a few tricks that you can use for yourself as well. Okay. Let's see if there's anything else. Otherwise, we will call it a night. So Jen says, okay, another question. I just started giving my boys raw goat's milk as a treat every evening. Is it okay to give them every day? Absolutely. Raw goat's milk is full of live active probiotics. So it's a great alternative to you guys if you don't want to do a probiotic. A food source of a healthy bacteria like that is awesome. So yes, you can definitely give them some every day. That's a great way to support their gut and make a happy microbiome. So yes, absolutely. Some cats like raw goat milk. If you've never experimented with raw goat's milk, what you can do is just start with putting literally a half a teaspoon or a teaspoon and mix it into their food. So it kind of blends it all together and they kind of get used to that flavor or that taste, even though it's just a little bit. And you can slowly get them used to something new like that. And then if they really take to it, then offer it to them separately, like on a spoon or put it on a saucer or something, even if it's just a tablespoon. It doesn't have to be a lot. It's just a good product. And there's Jen, tell me which brand are you using? I think, does Green Juju have a goat's milk? Why do I think they have one? Laura Lee pours them into bowls for them to lap up. Yes, that's awesome. Laura Lee, what brand of goat's milk do you have that you use? I know Primal makes a good one. I think, oh, okay, she uses Green Juju. Yes, I was thinking Green Juju. Now, Steve's used to have one, but I don't think they're selling that. I think they're putting it in their food. So, yes, try that out. Okay, so Caravan Rose says, blood in the stool of my 1-year-old cat. Any ideas on what it could be? And if I should get to vet right away, fresh blood. Sometimes blood in the stool can be a sign of inflammation. Yes, you can obviously get your vet to run a fecal test and just rule out a parasite, because sometimes parasites can be there for a very long time and you just never know. And then all of a sudden they just pop up, especially around full moons, because that's when parasites are most active. So it could be parasite, it could be inflammation. And if it's some kind of inflammation, look at your diet. It goes, so many things go back to diet. So yeah, but it's a good idea to go get a stool sample and just see what they find. Most definitely. Is it urgent? It's not like it's a crisis or anything, but if you can get them in the next few days while you're having those symptoms, and even if you can just take a sample of that poop today that you saw with the fresh blood, that's great. Because even if you just dropped off that sample to the vet's office, they could go ahead and run a fecal test for you. So Jen says she gets her goat's milk at a local farm. Oh, that's awesome. Breezy Mountain raw goat's milk. And you know what else, guys? If you've never gone to your local farmer's market, that would be a great place to see if you can get some raw goat's milk. Tony, how are you? Let's see. What is a good choice of bone broth to mix in with the freeze-dried food? Oh, you know what? I get my bone broth from the farmer's market. It's fresh. They do it themselves, and there's literally nothing in it except bone broth. So farmers markets are great. Green Juju has bone broth. Open Farm has bone broth. Primal has bone broth. Let me think. What else? Anybody else have any other brands that you use for bone broth? There are, excuse me, Small Batch has bone broth and it's full of collagen. So highly recommend Small Batch. Yes, I've used that one too before I started going to the farmer's market and buying it there. Homemade bone broth is great. Yes. Yes, if you're making your own, awesome. Some of the commercial products for pets even put stuff like turmeric in it, which is wonderful. They might have rosemary, they might have some other herbs and like carrots, stuff like that. No problem. So even if you buy a very simple commercially made bone broth for people or from a different pet store, a pet brand, it's fine too. But homemade bone broth is awesome. Yes. Probably a lot cheaper. So, yeah, bone broth can be a little pricey these days. So, if you can make your own, awesome. But beef or chicken, doesn't matter. My cats get beef and chicken bone broth. So, that's awesome. Yeah, and I just mix it in their food. I put it in their raw feed. I probably give them about a tablespoon every meal. Jen says, last question, short of brushing my boys' teeth, what's the best to keep their teeth clean? Chicken feet, I've heard. You know what? That's a great question. Melanie Samantha, I am using your toothbrush. So Ryer Cat makes a cat toothbrush, which is pretty cool. I've used it a couple times with Gunner, and he doesn't bite me, which is cool. And I don't have to bundle him anymore in the Purrrito. He didn't like that at all, but he's doing just fine with it. Just me holding him. There is a product called Cat Breath by Herbsmith. I know that that's a good oral dental supplement. There is another product. Oh, I cannot remember the name of it. I have another client that uses one that has used it for years. If you were to Google like oral supplements for cats, you'll probably find several. But you can also, hi, Jay Kennedy, how are you? We're talking about brushing the teeth. So if, like for my cats right now, I'm using a product, it's an enzyme called Dentasure, but you can actually make your own toothpaste with something like a little bit of probiotic, coconut oil. Love you more, Jay. Love you more. Dr. Becker suggested like a little bit of colloidal silver, coconut oil, and probiotic, and you can mix it all up. You can even put Oxycat in it for teeth, and then make your own little paste, and just use the toothbrush and brush them with that if your cat will let you brush your teeth. Raw food, guys. Raw food is one of the best things you can do because it has naturally occurring enzymes, and they're eating that and chewing that in their mouth, and it helps prevent the tartar and plaque buildup. But chicken feet, you know what? Here's the thing. I don't know a whole lot of cats that will chew on some of the stuff that dogs chew on. In fact, I just got today at our local pet store, Pepology. If Janet is watching, hi. They have little quail feet, and I don't have it in here, but they're little tiny, just like dried quail feet. And so I bought a couple to see if my cats would be interested in chewing on them because they're supposed to be for chewing. No, they just like smelled it and looked at me like, what am I supposed to do with that? So Oh my gosh, poor Jay. So you can try, absolutely. You can try anything like fresh raw bones. Like if you get quail, like raw quail with the wings, those are great. Maybe some, what is it? Cornish game hen that you can cut up with the bones. If your cats eat raw diets and they can chew the bones, the raw bones, awesome for teeth. So, but not all cats want to do that. So that's why we have so many different options, whether you're brushing, whether you want to add an oral additive of some kind or an oral supplement or fresh food. You got lots of choices. So it really comes down to what your cats will tolerate, right? Tony says, I started my cat on green juju, just greens, and he's doing well on it. Awesome. Yes. I brought home a bunch of green juju samples from Super Zoo, and my cats are doing pretty well. Now, the kittens will eat anything. I'm so grateful. They eat everything. They're so food motivated. The older ones, I have to pamper a little bit. Oh, you're so welcome. Jay, I hope they didn't make you like put hope they didn't like numb your teeth or numb your gums or anything. I hope your appointment went well. I don't like going to the dentist. Does anybody like going to the dentist? I don't. Awesome. Well, I am so happy to be here with you guys. Again, if you have any questions that we didn't cover tonight, you're welcome to email me, Pam at Purrrfectlyholistic.com. And then again, if you want to sign up for the homeopathy workshop with me and Jody Teish on the 23rd, go to shop.purrrfectlyholistic.com. Oh, she says Oxycat. She has 0 cavities. Oxycat. I love that so much. Do you brush with Oxycat, Jay? I want to know. Tell us the truth. Because that might be like the newest, greatest secret. You might have a whole new market right there. Sandy says, no, dentist. I know, it's crazy. Okay, so hi, it's Sherry on Instagram. Hi, Sherry. Is a little ginger okay for cats? Absolutely. Absolutely. Ginger can be very warming to the tummy. It can help with digestive issues. So yeah, if you want to add a pinch, in fact, some brands of bone broth actually put a little bit of ginger in there. So absolutely, if they like it, whether it's fresh that you want to do or whether it's dried or like from your spice cabinet, you could do that too. Jay says, but she says, don't tell anyone, no FDA. She swishes with Oxycat. I love it. We have to share those little secrets. We want to help each other stay healthier, right? I love it so much. Okay. I think we're going to wrap it up. I can't believe it's already been an hour. So thank you guys so much for being here. Next month, same time, same place, first Thursday of the month, we'll do another live Q&A. Get your questions ready. And I will see you guys again next month. So have a great rest of your week and a happy weekend and happy Purse Day, everyone. We'll talk to you again soon. Thanks. Love you guys. Sending you lots of love.